Imagine making $200,000 a year and still feeling like you're barely surviving from paycheck to paycheck. In this call, Dave Ramsey talks with a high-income dad who admits that lifestyle choices, car payments, renovations, and relying on bonuses instead of a plan have quietly pushed his family into a corner. What follows is a tough but practical conversation about getting radical, breaking bad habits, and why real progress only starts when you stop living like next quarter's bonus is guaranteed. Hit like, subscribe, and support Dave Ramsey's original channel.
I make about $200,000 a year, and my family and I are living paycheck to paycheck. We're on baby step 2, and I'm just wondering if there's anything I can do to help jumpstart our process of paying off our debt.
Where do you think all that money's going?
It's all payments. It's all consumer debt, and it's all a bit overwhelming. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you know what I mean. So
so how much debt do you have, not counting your house?
About $100,000.
Okay. And what's that on?
2 car payments.
How much is the first car? How much do you owe on the first car?
$20,000.
Mm-hmm. What do you owe on the second car?
$30,000.
Okay. And what's the other 50?
It's credit cards and personal loans.
Okay. So $50,000 in credit cards and personal loans.
Was that all lifestyle, Lloyd, or did something happen that you guys had to take out a loan for?
It is all lifestyle. We purchased a house last year, and we got a little in over our heads with the renovations, and decided it was better to follow through on it than to live in a half finished house.
Okay, so it's finished now.
Close to it. I've got one more bathroom I got to finish. It's about halfway through the remodel.
Okay, and how much is your house payment?
$4,500 a month.
What's your take-home pay?
I make about $8,000 per month without bonuses, but with bonuses, it can be upwards of $14,000 per month.
Okay,
it's a big swing.
Let's see. To get to 200, you have to be at 14.
Yeah, well, I'm on track to make 200 this year before taxes, and that's with the bonuses. My bonuses are quarterly, and they're based on how I do at work, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if it's a month,
you got a large chunk of your income that comes quarterly. Wow.
Yes.
That makes the cash flow management tough.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Yeah.
That's why it feels like it's paycheck to paycheck. You're trying to live more like on 130. You're trying to live more like on 130, and then 70's bonused.
Yeah, I mean, if I make my bonus, we feel more than comfortable making all of our payments. But if I don't make bonus, then we're in the red.
Yeah. Yeah. If you could get down to living and making your payments on your base, and then when bonus comes in, it clears debt, that would work.
Yeah, my plan was to get rid of one of our cars because I have a company vehicle I drive, but they're pulling my company vehicle and giving me a gas card and a stipend instead. So now I have to start using my personal vehicle again to commute. So going down to one family vehicle is kind of out of the question at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And how much are you putting in your 401k?
None.
How much of a tax refund did you get?
Well, last year I think it was about $7,000. This year I'm hoping it'll be about the same. We had a kid last year, and we're going to have another kid this year. And we also bought a house last year, so that also helps us a little bit on our.
Yeah. So you're over withholding.
Correct.
By $600 a month.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, when I was filling out my paperwork, it's all a bit confusing. And when my wife stopped working with our first kid, I was trying to figure out how to make it so we didn't end up owing. So I think I have them withhold an extra $300 per paycheck just to make sure I don't end up owing at the end of the year.
And that ended up actually being a interest-free savings account with the IRS, and they give it back to you in April. Because that's about what you're over withholding is of $300 a paycheck.
Okay.
Yeah, that's $7,000 a year, by the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it turns out. So, I mean, you're over withholding, and then you get it all back with no interest. So, no, I think we'll stop that, and that'll help some.
I mean, half of this is your cars, like what you're saying, Lloyd. I just wonder if
Yeah, I mean that's really what I wanted to do. We were on track. I mean, we're underwater on both vehicles. We have to pay off at least 4,000 to 5,000 on either vehicle to be able to sell them without selling private sale, which is obviously difficult. I'd like to be able to just go take it in and have a dealership take it off my hands.
Yeah, but difficult is what you've got right now. That's your whole life is difficult.
This is true. Yep.
So we need to do some things that are difficult, like never going out to eat again and never going on vacation. And I don't know what the deal is with that bathroom, but it needs to be either finished in the next 30 days or you need to pull off of it and start getting these bills paid. Because you guys have got to tighten up. Y'all have been kind of living a little sloppy.
Yeah, 50 grand and
yeah,
all of it. Yeah,
more than a little sloppy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, even if you're just a little sloppy with your income with these debts, you are paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah,
because your $4,500 house payment is outrageously high on your base. If you don't make bonus, this house is insane.
Yeah,
but if you make bonus, you're fine. I mean, 4,500 as a percentage of 14,000 a month is okay, but not of 8,000. That's over 50% of your take-home pay then. So we can't do that.
Do you guys have good monthly planning, Lloyd, that with the bonus? Like, I'm just wondering to put you guys, like, from a budget standpoint, that there's an account where the bonuses come in and you're able to use most of that for debt, but it's also there as a cushion. It's like the highs and lows is what we call it, a fund that's able to kind of sustain some of this monthly the monthly expenses. Like, I'm just trying to get as consistent for you guys as possible. And sometimes having an extra account where there's money in there that you guys have already planned out throughout the year. You know what I mean? That you can kind of pull from just to, and again, low lifestyle. It's not for going out to eat and all of it, but I'm just trying to think from I don't know. I could imagine month to month it feeling like this, and then you're waiting on that bonus check. And I just wonder if you can just spread it out a little bit more to give you more advantage.
Here's the theory that I want to leave you with, the thesis, better than theory, the thesis I want to leave you with. The more radical you get in your reaction to this situation, the faster you're going to be out of it. Because the deeper...
So can we agree that I need to get rid of the car somehow?
I think we can agree with that, and move way down in car. That'd be a radical move. I don't want you to be to one car, but, so, okay, I borrow $5,000 from the credit union. I borrowed $12,000 from the credit union, and instead of $30,000, I got a $7,000 car and a $5,000 hole from the last car that I'm paying out of. I'd rather have 12 than 30, and that's moving out of that 30 or whatever. Let's just work our way down this thing and say, all right, what radical things can we do to shock this family system temporarily and get this math moving in our direction so we can see a light at the end of the tunnel? Because it feels like we're kind of stuck like a rat in a wheel by the mediocre handling of things. And so what I want to do is get extreme over here, extreme over here, extreme over here as a 1 or a 2 year plan so that I get rid of all of this. And then we've got the renovations of the house in the rearview mirror, and we've got no payments. We have an emergency fund. Then we can do a lot of stuff with this quarterly bonus stuff coming in and out, and you got a lot of wiggle room, and you can start your 401k and start building some wealth. But you feel really stuck right now, and so what I'm going to do is throw dynamite in the middle of this thing, blow it up. Let's create some chaos and shock the system of the family. And we always laugh and say, sell so much stuff the kids think they're next. And we're not going to see the inside of a restaurant unless we're working there. And we're not going on vacation. And we're going to be on a written plan. And it's beans and rice and beans. And we're going to make an adventure out of this. And we're going to put a piece of plywood across that bathroom for right now. And we're going to use the rest of the house. It's $4,500. Screw it. And we're going to get this car sold and move down. And we're going to be radical. Then you'll be okay.
What makes this conversation so uncomfortable to listen to is not the amount of money involved or the fact that the household income is high, but the realization that this situation didn't happen because of one catastrophic mistake. It happened because of a long series of reasonable-sounding decisions that quietly stacked on top of each other until there was no margin left at all. This family didn't wake up one morning and decide to live paycheck to paycheck on $200,000 a year. They slowly built a lifestyle that depended on bonuses arriving on time, projects finishing perfectly, and nothing ever going wrong. And once you live that way long enough, stress becomes normal and pressure starts to feel like part of the job rather than a warning sign. What Dave keeps pushing back on here is the idea that comfort and progress can exist at the same time when debt is this high. Because as long as every extra dollar is already spoken for, there is no room for mistakes, no space to breathe, and no way to build stability, no matter how impressive the income looks from the outside. The truth is that variable income requires conservative living, not optimistic living. And when fixed expenses like cars, renovations, and a massive house payment are built on top of unpredictable bonuses, the math becomes fragile, which is why this family feels stuck even though the numbers on paper suggest they should be thriving. That's why the advice sounds so extreme, because mild adjustments don't fix a system that's already under strain, and when you're relying on future income to justify present decisions, the only way out is to interrupt the pattern completely, even if that interruption feels chaotic and uncomfortable in the short term. This isn't about punishment or shame. It's about acknowledging that the lifestyle itself has become the problem, and until that lifestyle is downsized and simplified, every paycheck will continue to feel like it disappears the moment it arrives, keeping the family trapped in a cycle of anxiety and reaction instead of intentional progress. What makes this moment powerful is the idea that radical action, taken for a defined season, can completely change the trajectory of a family's future. Because once the debt is gone and the pressure is lifted, the same income that once created stress becomes a tool for freedom rather than a source of constant worry. For anyone watching who recognizes this pattern in their own life, the takeaway isn't that you need to earn more or wait for things to settle down. It's that waiting is often what keeps people stuck, and the decision to act decisively is usually the turning point between years of frustration and a future that finally feels manageable. This call is a reminder that financial peace doesn't come from hoping the next quarter is better than the last. It comes from building a plan that works even when things go wrong, and from choosing discipline now so that stability isn't something you're chasing later. And once that shift happens, once the chaos is replaced with clarity and intention, the relief isn't just financial, it's emotional, because you're no longer living at the mercy of circumstances, but actively shaping the direction of your life instead.